Hola a todos and welcome back to this series of videos where I'm breaking down where to live in and around Los Alcázares area by area. So far we've looked at the old town, the new town and the strip and Nueva Marbella, and they're all very different in their own ways. Today we're looking at something different again, and that's Albatros, which is more of a resort style community. Albatros sits on the edge of town, on the outskirts a bit, slightly removed from the older and newer parts of Los Alcázares. You're not right in the middle of town here, and that's intentional. Albatros was designed as a self-contained residential complex rather than part of the traditional street layout. Now, Albatros is a residential development, and it's made up of a mix of townhouses, duplex style homes, bungalows and apartments, with just under 200 properties in total. And like many places, some of these homes are used as permanent residencies, with people living and working locally, or sending their kids to school in the area. Others are used as holiday homes or short-term rentals, particularly during the busier summer months. And just to talk about the rental properties, only around 10% of the properties are available for rent, and that won't change. That's part of the law. So if you're thinking of buying here, you don't have to fear lots and lots of different rental apartments all around you. There's only a small percentage, and it'll always stay like that. Now, like most organised residential communities in Spain, Albatros operates under a set of community rules that all the owners and the renters must agree to follow. These are designed to make sure everybody can enjoy a good quality of life there, and just mainly focus on showing consideration for neighbours, behaving responsibly in shared spaces and respecting communal areas such as the swimming pool, the gardens, corridors and the stairways. And if you're thinking of buying here to live full time, or you're going to be renting here either short term or long term, it's important that you're aware of these guidelines in advance. Just understanding how the community works helps avoid any misunderstandings and ensures just a more relaxed and enjoyable stay for everyone that's in the community. So I'm pleased to be joined by Gary Hull. Gary is the president of the community. Now, don't worry too much about that. He'll explain a little bit of what that means. But so thanks for joining us, Gary.
Very welcome.
Thanks for giving me some of your time today. It's important.
Right. No problem.
So how long have you had your place here?
It's around 12 years. We originally bought it as a holiday home. It was somewhere we could escape from the UK for a few weeks. And around about 10 years ago, we decided that we were going to make a life change and work towards the next 5 years. And as soon as I hit 55, retire. You're off. And come over here.
And here you are.
And it's exactly right.
Lovely place too. Great stuff. Because ours is a similar story. We're only here 3 years now, but it was us about a big life change. Let's just escape that rat race and
just so different,
and
isn't
just
it?
chill.
The quality of life, the sunshine,
tremendous.
The pace of life, the outdoors, the fact that you're outdoors every day, whereas the UK, there's a lot of time indoors, and it's
definitely it makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Now, I mentioned that you were the president, so for people who might never have heard that term, it's not something we have in the UK as the president of a community.
Okay.
So, just nice and simply, what does that mean?
Okay, so by law, the Horizontal Property Act says that you've got to have a president. Now, in some communities, nobody wants to be a president because they know the workload can be quite high. So they elect somebody, and they're just a figurehead. They're just a name.
Just there as a name.
We're really lucky that on Albatros, we've had people putting themselves forward as presidents for as long as I can remember. And what they do is to make sure that the contracts are signed correctly. They host the annual general meetings and the EGMs. They help to set the rules and enforce the rules. So they can be a figurehead, or they can actually have a purpose.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a president's job. Underneath that, you've got a structure.
Yeah.
Structure of a committee. I'm lucky to have 8 people that
Yeah,
all
good.
volunteer
So that
their
shares the
time,
load, yeah.
that share the load with me. And between the 9 of us, with loads of different skill sets, we can usually come to sensible decisions on behalf of the community, and get things done right and at the right cost.
I think that's the important thing, because you're acting as a figurehead for the community and making sure that things are done the way the community wants, not
Exactly.
like a lot of politics where it's done what the boss wants. So it's nice to hear
Well,
that
there
the
are some
community
that would say that the boss gets the final say.
Sometimes El Jefe has to rule, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah, that's right.
Good stuff. And the only other thing really I wanted to ask you about is, the urbanisation itself, the residencia. What's the best thing about living here, as opposed to anywhere else in the Los Alcázares area?
Living here? Well, hopefully you've got some decent shots of our surroundings, the place that we live in.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Behind our locked gates. We come into a place that is usually quite peaceful. It gets busy in the summer.
Yeah,
we get some tourist activity. We get friends and family coming over. But most of the time it's just a very tranquil place to be. And there's some lovely people here.
Yeah, good. Great, and that's all you want from either a holiday home or a change of pace of life, isn't it? Somewhere that you can really just relax in.
It is,
good.
Indeed. And we've got a really good community spirit as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know whether you've talked about or going to talk about the fundraising.
Yeah, I haven't talked about any of the fundraising or anything, but I've talked about, the great different mix of nationalities that are here.
Sure.
And I'm sure where we live up in Rodda Village, it is a real proper community and people do support each other.
Exactly.
So, quickly tell me about the fundraising. What's that all about then?
All right, we've been doing it for a number of years. Each year we've increased the total raised year on year.
Yeah.
Last year we raised €3,200 for 4 charities or good causes that were chosen by the local community, and split it 4 ways and supported some really good causes.
But it's good to give back to the country that's allowed you to make this your home, isn't it?
Absolutely right.
Isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
it's very
great.
important.
Brilliant. Well, Gary, I really appreciate that. Hopefully the viewers will find it interesting.
I hope so too.
I'll make sure it's in the video. And again, thanks a lot for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Good man.
Thanks for coming.
Now, one of the first things that you notice here is, how different it feels to the rest of Los Alcázares. It's quieter, it's more enclosed, it's a secure gated complex, and it feels organised and planned. You've got communal spaces, shared pools, landscaped areas, just, like a holiday resort. And that's fine, even if you decide to live here full time, you've got all these amenities there all the time for you. So as I said, Albatros is made up of a mix of townhouses, duplex style homes, bungalows and apartments. And they're all built to a consistent style. So you'll find balconies and terraces, 2 pools, one for small infants and the other for adults and kids over 12. Secure gated access, so it's very safe and secure. And there are shared garden areas, so it's the amenities are really good on it. And they're all designed for easy maintenance, which are covered by the community fees. And that appeals to a lot of people, especially if you're not here all year. It means that when you do come, everything is clean and tidy for when you return next time. Something else to consider with Albatros is that it's very walkable. Just some typical walking times to the main attractions. So, nearest beach, the promenade on the Mar Menor, and the bars and restaurants on the 525 Plaza and the Strip are only about 10 minutes away. The Old Town is about 25 minutes, so a bit further. So if you want to spend a lot of your time in the more traditional, older part of Los Alcázares, this might feel a bit isolated for you. Albatros works best for people who, you're looking for peace and privacy. You want to be in a resort-style environment. You want communal facilities and low maintenance living, and a strong, holiday home feel. And obviously security is very secure. It's particularly popular with part-time residents, winter visitors, and people who just want to lock up and leave. But it's less popular with people who want to feel part of everyday town life. And another thing you'll notice here is that the atmosphere, it does change a lot with the seasons. In summer it's lively, and winter it can be a bit quiet. Now some people love that, and others think it's maybe a bit lonely. So it's important to think about how you'll feel here, not just in the summer months, but also over winter too. And again, just to ensure completeness and the warts and all that I always say, you have to be aware that there is a partly built building opposite some of the houses in Albatros. Now, I have recently read somewhere that this is going to be built into a residence home for elderly people, but just be aware that some of the houses are looking straight onto that. So let's look at some pros and cons. The pros, it's quiet and peaceful. You've got well-maintained communal areas, you've got great pools and shared facilities, and easy care properties. It's good for both part-time and full-time living, and it's a great location for the newer parts of Los Alcázares and the Strip. And what about some cons? Well, it is further from the old town centre, and there's less of a Spanish town atmosphere. It can be quiet in the winter, and it's not really beside the bus routes, although they're not far away, but they're not right on your doorstep, and there is a local Urbano bus that gets you around that can maybe take you nearer the bus stops. And there's also community fees to consider too. So, it's one of those areas where you really need to know what you're signing up for, both lifestyle and location-wise. Now, if you want to compare this part to previous episodes, the old town's more traditional, the Strip is more social and busier. Nueva Marbella is, a bit more balanced, and Albatros is more of a resort style. None of them are better than the others. They're all just different. And that's what makes Los Alcázares fantastic. And the right choice depends entirely on how you want to live. So, I hope you enjoyed this brief tour of Albatros here in Los Alcázares. If the video's been useful, please, give it a wee like, and remember to subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, so I can continue to make new videos for you. Let me know in the comments whether Albatros would suit you. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you all in the next video, which is all about Puerto Marina. Hasta luego.